Well, dear friends, I'm very pleased to be able to welcome the Taoiseach. Your visit comes at the right moment, just after the European Council. We had the last 2 days in Brussels where we had crucial European questions who still are unsolved, and where we need really to have the next days, the next hours, very close contacts all together to see how we can resolve all those questions. And so for me it was very important to be able today to have an exchange between both, also to be able to exchange about the European topics. I just have to say a personal experience too. So you have to know that Ireland and myself have a special relation. I learned English in Malahide when I was a child, so I remember these very nice places and the hospitality also of our Irish friends, and I really want to say how much I appreciate when I did a visit to Dublin last year, when you were able to organize a dinner together in a very famous place in Malahide, where when I was a student at that time, I would never have been able to get in, and to be able to have a dinner there and to meet all these people was for us, for me, really going back 30 years ago, yes. Firstly, I would like to reiterate our full support to your country, notably in the context also of, firstly in the Brexit. The Good Friday Agreement is an important landmark, not only for Ireland, but also for our whole continent and for Europe. It is important that we do all we can to avoid that old wounds are opened up again and the peace on our continent could be threatened. We should never forget that point. Although we don't know the outcome of the Brexit process, I think we need to prepare not only for Britain to leave the EU, but equally as important for the European Union without the United Kingdom, with all the consequences this will have. With departure of the United Kingdom from the European Union, we will lose an important ally, especially when it comes to single market issues, but also when it comes to trade and business friendliness. But this is also a chance to reinforce our cooperation. My country and your country have always enjoyed a close relationship. We consider Ireland as a reliable partner. And in the EU, we share many common interests, as both of our countries are open economies, advocating for free and open trade order. Nonetheless, I do think that there are areas where we can deepen our cooperation on topics that are of strategic importance to both our countries, and I'm delighted that after this press conference we'll have a meeting also with our both staff to deepen this thing. Your visit also is a proof of friendship. You come when we have our celebrations for National Day, and I have to tell you that I'm very, very pleased to be able to have you discovering our country, where I just can tell you that it's a country which is a country we appreciate a lot. The collaboration that we have, and I have to say, and even if it's not in a campaign, that I'm lucky to work with your Taoiseach. That again, the last 2 days in Brussels, he showed his capacity of a statesman to also be constructive and trying to find solutions on a pragmatic way for the issues that we have today, and it's really a pleasure to work with you. I'm sorry to tell that it was not on my speaking points, but I really wanted to say because I believe it. Wow.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, Xavier. It's a real pleasure to be here in Luxembourg. I've been here many times as a minister, but it's my first time here as Taoiseach, and I think the first time maybe 10 or 11 years that an Irish Taoiseach has been here. And it's a good opportunity to visit some of the EU institutions that are based here. Came from the European Investment Bank, where we signed a €350 million loan to develop Dublin Airport, and talked about other potential loan opportunities, particularly around transport, climate investments and housing as well. We'll be in the ECJ tomorrow, meeting some of the judges there. But it's a particular pleasure to be here with you to return the visit. After your visit to Ireland some time ago, it's been a pleasure to work with you and to cooperate with you at European Council level. Ireland and Luxembourg are similar countries, small countries with big neighbours. And also very like-minded big neighbours that we mostly get on with, but sometimes cause us trouble, and a very like-minded approach to so many issues and so many questions that come before us at European level, and that's why I think it's good to have personal friendship, but also good political cooperation too. And really privileged to be here for your National Day and to have an opportunity to experience. You'll know our National Day is world famous. It's St. Patrick's Day and celebrated all over the world. But I believe Luxembourg knows how to celebrate too. So looking forward to witnessing that tomorrow. So thank you again.
You give me a good idea. We should promote to celebrate National Day from Luxembourg all around the world, but it might be more difficult for directly organizing this for the next months and years.
Okay, great. So questions?
Prime Minister, to you first. The Taoiseach mentioned earlier at the European Council meeting, and the other leaders did as well, that there can't be any British bilateral negotiations on Brexit, that it would have to be done through the European Union. What kind of approaches have you had from the UK in the past? Has anyone from the UK ever tried to initiate any kind of negotiation with you that you felt was perhaps inappropriate in the context of Brexit negotiations?
No, and I think that our solidarity was our strength, because we were united. Be united, being solidar, and to show that Ireland is, for us, our partner, and that the decision of the UK to leave the European Union was their choice. And so this unicity was the possibility to get also a deal where we are all able, 27, to recognize in this deal. We just had last week, I don't need to hide it, an agreement with the UK about, no, it was this week, an agreement with the UK about voting rights for local elections, where we still believe that it is important also for Luxembourgish citizens to be able to vote on local elections in the UK in future. But that's all. All the competence in the European Union who belongs to the European Union has to be negotiated on European level. This was our strength, and to give up this unity, this solidarity, would be the biggest mistake.
And I think that's about more than Ireland, because when we get into negotiating a future relationship treaty with the UK, there will be different countries that have different interests too, but we're in a much stronger position if we negotiate with any partner, whether it's the UK or Russia or America or China or India, as a union of 27.
Firstly, Prime Minister, I would like to ask you about the Twitter picture, which has been very much viewed today, about you being the best friend anybody could have, with your arm around Jean-Claude Juncker. I don't know if you've seen it, but everybody loves you, everybody wants you as a best friend. So what were you consoling him on?
No, you have to know that I nearly grew up with Jean-Claude Juncker as a Prime Minister in Luxembourg. So before I took the job over, he was Prime Minister for 18 years, and he's in the political activity.
You took his job, but
What? What I said? I took his job. Yes, no, yes, I took over as a prime minister. So I grew up with Jean-Claude Juncker, and we have a really close relation. And we exchange also about everything. And but you have to accept that the discussions that a former prime minister and an actual prime minister of Luxembourg have together stays between the actual prime minister and the former prime minister of Luxembourg. But we are also humans, and I'm a bit surprised, just to be honest, to see that. How much people are surprised to see that we are still humans and that we can also be friends in politics, even if we are not in the same party.
Thank you. I have a question for the Taoiseach, please. I'm from chronicle.lu, and as someone from Northern Ireland, I wanted to ask about, with British politics in a state of flux at the moment, perhaps what you and the Irish government have in place for contingency plans for no-deal Brexit, and perhaps thoughts on a possible United Ireland in our lifetime. Thank you.
In terms of contingency plans, you know, they're very well developed. We had planned for the possibility of a no-deal Brexit on the 31st of March. So almost everything was in place, and we're continuing to develop those plans. We'll actually publish in July, in early July, our updated no-deal contingency plans, just to tell the public and business how things have developed. But I always need to say and remind people that there's no such thing as a good Brexit. And if we end up in a no-deal scenario, it's going to be damage limitation for Ireland. On the whole issue of United Ireland, as you'll know, the Good Friday Agreement provides provision for a referendum on United Ireland if the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland feels that that such a referendum would pass. But I don't think we're in that place at the moment, and I think particularly with talks ongoing in Stormont, with the possibility of power sharing being restored, and with all of the complications and uncertainty that arises from Brexit, this isn't really something for now.
But just to say that we had also today in the Council a discussion about the Brexit. And the conclusion was there is nothing new. Nothing new. And that we are all prepared, the institutions and the countries, also for a no deal. We see that it's really possible that we go in that direction. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. But it's an option for all of us.
I think as well, we all recognise that Brexit is a decision that the UK made. And ultimately, if no deal happens, it will be a British choice because the British have the option of ratifying the withdrawal agreement. They even have the option of revoking Article 50. So if it happens, just like Brexit, no deal will be a decision that they make.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.